Welcome back, y'all, to the Harley's Huddle Marketing in Motion podcast here on YouTube. Happy Marketing Monday. I hope everyone has a absolutely fantastic week. To start off your week today, we're going to talk about community building and the significance of community building in your innovative marketing strategy. And just to kind of start out, I'm going to show you some reviews from real life clients of mine that I've worked with. And we're going to get into that video next, but just keep in mind that these are people I've actually worked with, and I did a Google form to collect this data. I'll post the link to the form in the description to this video, just so you have a better understanding of what kind of questions were asked, as well as the fact that it is a real survey that this video full of some of the reviews came from. So keep that in mind. I want you to see that authoritative value that I have hearing from clients that I have actually worked with. That way you know what I'm saying means something, right? You know that what I'm saying to you in this podcast today is something I'm actually knowledgeable in and have put into practice. So let's get started.
Harley has been so thoughtful and so willing to help no matter the situation. She's always giving ideas and listening to every detail that is told to, and she does everything she can to meet your wants and needs. She gives amazing ideas and feedback. She's so humbled and passionate on helping others and at what she does that it inspires others to want to help, and I love seeing that. I recommend Harley with helping you with your social media platforms. A 5-star rating is a must, and if I could, I'd give her 10 stars. I'm highly satisfied. We still need a Tech Craze 2024 plan, but when you were helping me before I took a break, I was averaging more viewers with your shoutouts. Your skills helped me quickly and efficiently integrate my Discord with bots and my other social media accounts, and you have greatly helped me grow the server and my other accounts. I am very grateful.
So let's talk a little bit about community building and understanding it better. Community building is a part of marketing. It involves creating and nurturing a group of people with shared interests around a brand or a product or a topic even, and making sure that you're focusing on fostering relationships and a sense of belonging. And we've talked about this a lot here on this channel, that a big part of innovative marketing is personalizing and making the consumer feel special and feel connected to your brand. And this is a great way to do that. Before, the digital era, and even through it and during it and still to this day, most of this kind of stuff was done in in-person events and word of mouth communities with limited reach. So the digital revolution really added this factor that allows for the internet and social media to transform community building, offering global reach and interactive platforms and forums and, social networks and all sorts of different ways to connect digitally with your audience and allow the audience to connect with each other. There's also a psychological and sociological impact of this. So communities fulfill this psychological need to feel like belongingness and identity, and it enables individuals to express themselves and align with brands that reflect their values. And this helps with trust and loyalty and the growth of trust and loyalty as members engage authentically and potentially evolve from customers to brand advocates and interact with each other and just feel this sense of belonging and identity with your brand, your product, or the topic that you are hosting a community for. For example, like there's plenty of cryptocurrency communities, gaming communities, things like that you might not necessarily be selling a product, but you're still selling this feeling of identity, and you need that in your marketing strategy. And then the sociological impact. Social dynamics within communities can really influence and reflect societal trends and help with challenges like managing diverse opinions and maintaining ethical practices. So this is a great way to and not only kind of allow your audience to have diverse opinions and connect with each other, but do that while maintaining an ethical and privacy mindset in your marketing strategy. I want to talk a little bit about the impact of, building a community on marketing, because community building is such a powerful component of your marketing strategy. It can significantly impact your customer engagement and loyalty. As we just mentioned, it fosters that sense of belonging and trust, and helps form that emotional connection to your brand, and can cultivate a loyal customer base, that not only supports your brand but advocates for your brand. And it creates this enhanced brand perception, leading to deeper customer relationships. And active communities can really act as a platform for customers to voice their opinions and feedback, which can positively shape your brand perception and product development, but it can also give you feedback to help better your product or better your brand, better your marketing strategy. And it also allows for this regular interaction with your community and your audience, and keeps the brand at the top of mind for those consumers. And this could be like engaging with content and discussions within the community, having your own community, whether it's like on a Discord or Slack channel, and encourage repeat visits and just sustained interest in your product, or, whatever you're trying to build with this community. And then, of course, there's like the word of mouth advocacy. So, satisfied community members are more likely to recommend the brand to others. We know that, right? That's nothing new, but leveraging this powerful tool of community-driven user-generated content can literally serve as an authentic kind of endorsement, and further amplify your brand's reach, right? And then the valuable insights and co-creation that comes from this. So it provides a wealth of insights into the consumer's preferences, behaviors, and guides a more effective and targeted marketing strategy. And involving community members in the creation or improvement of the products and services really leads to this more customer centric approach, which is a huge part of innovative marketing, as we've talked about many times here on this podcast. It can also lead to brand loyalty, like we said, and builds trust through this consistent interaction. And again, you have to be transparent in the communication, especially in addressing concerns or negative feedback. But this helps you with the reputation management part of marketing as well. So it's not just for the community and for kind of the customer centric approach, but also helps reinforce trust and helps you see that negative feedback and turn it into something positive, like a better marketing strategy or changes to your product. And it also allows customers to emotionally connect with the brand, and this often leads to a sense of pride and identification with the brand, which almost inevitably, words are hard, leads to, a return on investments, advocates who are loyal to your brand. And then you can also offer exclusive, content promotions, early access to products for these community members, which creates this sense of exclusivity and rewards them for their loyalty. It recognizes them as a active member of the community, whether this is through shout outs or rewards or featured content. And again, it fosters that deeper emotional investment in the brand, which is so important. And the consistency on delivering these promises and maintaining the brand's core values and strengths by using customer feedback, using these trends to communicate with your community, showing your brand's loyalty to these community members adds value. At the end of the day, the impact of this is huge because it adds value. It helps with reputation management. It makes your consumers loyal and more likely to go be a brand advocate for you, whether that's, user generated content that they're doing on their own or an influencer that you're working with. But either way, community is such a huge part of innovative marketing and needs to be part of your strategy in 2024 if it's not already. This next section of the podcast is going to go over some of these strategies for effective community building. Like, we've gone over what it means, we've gone over the impact of it and how it fits into your marketing strategy, but now we want to go through how to actually implement this and create an effective community for your marketing strategy. And the first point here is going to be identifying your core audience. You want to make sure you're reaching the right people, the right target demographic, segmenting your audience based on their interests and behaviors. And, we're going to talk more about this later. I'm going to give you actual tips and show some examples of products you can use to do this kind of market research. But this helps fine tune your community building efforts and make sure that the people that are joining and supporting your community are people that are actually loyal to your brand, or actually a good fit for your brand, not just a huge community to have a huge community. Like, numbers are great, but you want the number of individuals in the community to be not only, quantity, but quality. Quality consumers or members that are going to interact with each other and be valuable to your product at the end of the day. The second point here is creating engaging platforms. There's different platforms that you can use, like Slack or Discord. Discord is a huge one that is used for all sorts of things, from products to personal brands, like fan groups for a DJ or musician, or, things like that, to cryptocurrency groups, news groups, political groups. Like, anything you can think of, you can do on Discord. There's probably a group that you can discover on Discord or create your own. There's social media forums, there's, Reddit, things like that. And then there's also Slack, which is more on the professional side of things. I've been working with clients in the past that use it as sort of like a virtual headquarters if their employees are remote. It has all the different channels you could possibly imagine, and it connects in with your project management software and announcements from your, CEO or president of the whole company, and things like that. So it's important to consider what platform you choose based on your target audience, where they're more active, and create engaging, interactive, and user friendly environments, because not everyone is technological. Not everyone's going to understand how Discord works, but it is pretty simple if you make it simple for the user and for your particular audience that you're trying to reach. The third point I want to get to is generating value driven content. And this could be, like I said, with influencers, but it could also just be encouraging your users and your members to create this user generated content to foster a sense of like ownership and belonging among the community. Like, here's why I'm here, here's how I use the product, or here's how I interact with this brand, or so on. And so you want to make sure that you have a strategy to create content for the community purposes that resonates with your audience. And this can be like educational, so hosting a webinar in your community, or entertaining, doing something fun and interactive. And definitely the interactive portion here is key. Hosting a meeting in Discord where you can have like the main speakers on a panel, and then you can have an audience and they can raise their hand in the audience virtually, and you can call on them, and then they can speak their thoughts, or they can type it in the chat and you can respond. You can do this on Zoom, you can do this on any of these platforms, but making sure that you make these users feel included, make your audience feel included, your community members feel included, so that they have this sense of belonging, and create this user generated content to promote your brand, sometimes without even having to ask them. Like, they just love the connection so much that they post about it. I don't know about you, but I do this all the time when I have a product that I like, even if it's not a product that I got, a sample for, that paid me to advertise it. I'm just like, well, this is really cool, I want to share it with other people. I did it years ago when I lived in Florida and the AC went out during a hurricane, and I used that like tiny little chiller thing that you put on your desk, and you put ice in it, and it just actually blows out cool air instead of a fan that circulates the air. And I did that just because I was like, "Whoa, this thing's cool." And that's the kind of thing you want to do here with this generating the value driven content from your users. The fourth and next point I want to talk about here, in regards to strategies for building this kind of community driven marketing strategy, is fostering interaction and engagement. And, I want to stress the importance of regular, meaningful interactions to keep your community active. You can't just start a community and let everyone talk to each other. You have to moderate it. You have to like push them in a certain way, encouraging certain dialogues, or hosting Q&A sessions, or putting polls in there, contests, live events. And make sure you have good community managers whose role is to facilitate these discussions and maintain a positive environment. This is such like a simple point in the community building strategy, but it's not something that's a hit or miss. Like you absolutely have to have this in your strategy. The fifth and final point I want to make here in this section is leveraging feedback and co creation, which we've discussed a little bit already in this podcast episode. But get feedback from your community. It can be a gold mine for improving products and services. And you want to encourage co creation initiatives like crowdsourcing ideas or allowing this community to beta test products and things like that. So you need a strategy for this, and you need a strategy for implementing feedback in a way that's going to make these community members feel heard and valued, not just like, oh yeah, we collected it so you would feel heard, but it's not actually valued because we didn't do anything with the information. There's no point in doing that. So if you're going to collect the feedback, you have to act on it and make them feel like they're heard and valued, and like you took their feedback to heart and you did something with it. Like anything in 2024, especially in marketing, you have to leverage technology for this community building strategy. And so some of this would be the digital platforms like we discussed for communities on Discord, or using Slack for your business as like a virtual headquarters. And of course, using digital platforms and forums like Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or any kind of niche forums and community building that can help you engage these users, as well as allow for more of the reputation management or allow for more feedback. Like people leave reviews on Facebook and recommendations on LinkedIn, and also like depending on your product, Yelp and Glassdoor and things like that as well kind of go into this. And social media is great because it facilitates this real-time interaction, and it broadens your reach and provides a safe space for communities to flourish, which is exactly what we're trying to do here. But it's important to choose the right platform based on your target audience and preferences and behaviors. So you have to do a bit of research here first before you go into it. And like I said, one of my favorite community building platforms is Discord. I literally am in gaming discords, music discords, like so many of them, and they're all different. And an admin and or manager in six of them, ranging from like 50 members to 5,000 members. So I very much see the value in that, and I want to go much deeper into that. So we're gonna really go into Discord later on this week. I'm gonna post a how-to video and literally show you from scratch how to set up a server, how to bot your server, how to do certain things. And also, keep in mind these other tools that are designed for effective community management, like Hootsuite or Sprout Social, for scheduling posts to make sure you're actively posting in the community and scheduling content, and then using technology to analyze engagement and manage conversations and highlight the benefits of like your product and what you're doing. And also learning how to use marketing automation platforms in managing larger communities. Like I said, there are tons of bots you can do this with on Discord. There are tons of bots you can do this with on certain social media platforms, and you need to make sure you have community managers and people that are there to interact. But you also need technology, because there's no way that any human can be working 24/7. So some of this auto moderation is very important to have in these communities. And again, I'm going to do a deep dive into this later this week with a how-to video for you guys, because I think it's really important. There's also the interactive technologies. You want to explore the use of things like chat bots for instant responses, and augmented reality AR for engaging experiences, and live streaming real-time interaction, and just how these different technologies can enhance the user experience and make the community more engaging and accessible. But again, the most important part here is making sure that you choose the right platform, that you understand your audience, that you understand the trends, so you know what topics are hot, what topics you want to involve in your community. And there are many, many, many different platforms to do this, for data collection and analytics, engagement analytics, predictive tools for trends, tools that help you tailor your content and engagement strategies properly. So I could talk about these all day, but I think it's going to be easier to just dive in and show you a pre-recorded video that I've created that shows you some of the more important ones, the ones that I see fit. But before we, dive into that, just keep in mind that these are for data collection. So these are things like, I'm going to show you the one that's Google Analytics, but there's also other platforms like Hootsuite or Sprout Social to, look at and gather this demographic behavior data, especially when in regards to your audience on social media. For engagement analysis, I also use Google Analytics, and I'll show you that here in the video, but there's also tools like BuzzSumo, Buffer, and Ladder. But these all cost money, and Google Analytics is kind of the more affordable option. It's free to some extent, and so that's part of this engagement analysis. And then for predictive tools, you can utilize all sorts of things like learning algorithms and AI tools for things like TensorFlow or IBM Watson to analyze and predict audience interests and behaviors. In this video that I showed, I'm going to show you a Google Trends because, again, I want to show you the affordable options that anyone can use. For tailoring your content, you can do anything like on last week's podcast where I showed you guys how to use the Wix AI tool to create a website. There's that kind of stuff. There's also different, content management systems like WordPress combined with SEO tools or SEO plugins. Ahrefs is another one. I use SEMrush a lot, and I use that one in this example because, again, the free version does so many different things, and it's just a very user-friendly platform, I think. So, without further ado, let's just watch this video and kind of look through these different tools and how they work so you have a better understanding of how they work in a practical environment.
Google Analytics is free to set up and a great tool for many things we discussed in this episode. User data, engagement data, user behavior, active times, countries, genders, and more. My example is a new website, so not as much data, but it is updated in real time and gets better the longer a site is active. Google Trends is another absolutely free tool. Watch me navigate it to see how to use. You can logo at topics, queries, and more. This will help you see what topics are currently trending up, and how much interest has increased or decreased over time. This is an amazing tool for predictions and content ideas. How do you want to get your audience engaged? Try this. Finally, SEMrush. This is one of my favorite tools for so many things, including audits, keyword research, analytics, content ideas, site audits, and more. The free version allows for topic research as seen in this video, which can help produce relevant content that will get your community engaged and talking.
Also, as we talked about, you want to analyze feedback and customer sentiment, and you can do this using things like SurveyMonkey or Google Forms to collect direct feedback from your community, integrating cross-platform integrations that ensure seamless flow of data and insights across different platforms. So building a dashboard in HubSpot, for example, so you have all the data pulling from your social media, your website, like all that in one place. And then you want to just make sure you adapt and learn. So you want to regularly revisit these strategies based on the insights that you're gathering and these tools that you're using that we just showed in that previous video, and leverage these tools to focus on audience identification, tailored content strategies, sentiment analysis, and effectively build and nurture a community around a topic or a brand. And then you of course want to make sure you're still integrating online and offline community building. So host offline events as well, like meetups, workshops, conferences, but you can use your community to promote these. You could also do one that's hybrid, right? Like for the people that can't make it in person, they can come on Zoom. For the people that can't do it in person, they come in person and do it. And technology can kind of help with this and help facilitate these integrations of offline and online, like through event apps or live social media updates live from events on social media, things like that. And like I just said, the virtual attendance option. On the final segment here, I want to introduce you to a little bit of the VR and AR world, virtual reality, augmented reality, and how it can shape the future of community engagement. And the predictions and trends show that the rise of AI driven communities and the importance of micro communities versus massive communities are going to be important. There's a shift towards more interactive and immersive community experiences, which is where AR and VR really will come into place. And, I want to emphasize the growth that will likely continue to trend towards community driven content creation and co creation with your users. Real quick, I want to show you this video from Meta, just about they're kind of using AR mixed with online community to foster this exactly what we're talking about, this impact of technology meets community meets like personalized marketing strategy. So we're going to watch that real fast, and then we'll get more into the impact of VR and AR on community engagement.
This might sound a little cheesy, but the Metaspark community in
One word,
it will be wholesome,
inclusive,
empowering,
pioneering,
life change. I quit my master's to start with Metaspark.
one word would be the future.
what augmented reality is a catalyst of ideas, catalyst of dreams.
This Spark community is everything we need to make our dreams come true.
I'm Gijs, I'm from the Netherlands.
Uruguay,
From Buenos Aires,
India,
Seoul,
Indonesia,
Poland,
Chicago,
UK,
Los Angeles,
Vancouver.
Brazil, also a professor.
I started my career building homes and apartments.
Before, I was doing 2D art.
I studied environmental engineering.
My background is in philosophy before I became a Metaspark creator. It's not about getting here or there, but more about experimenting together to get somewhere new.
And there's a sense of limitless potential to usher in this new era of spatial computing.
When I describe Meta to people, it's like I'm not thinking about the company. I'm thinking about the community.
The amazing thing about AR and VR technologies is that they revolutionize this community engagement. They offer immersive and interactive experiences, such as virtual reality brand experiences or augmented reality product trials, which can deepen the connection between the brand and its community, like using VR to test what a pair of shoes will look like on you, or AR to do this. And bridging the gap between online and offline experiences, making community interactions so much more dynamic and so much more engaging. So AR and VR is going to be huge, as well as AI in community engagement, botting in community engagement. And so you want to keep your eye on that keep your eye on the growing technologies and how they're being used for community engagement within your marketing strategy. And that's why I encourage you to keep coming back to this podcast, or keep coming back to my YouTube channel, my social media accounts, because I will continue to update you as new technologies come out. This is something I love doing. It's a huge passion of mine. So, and I want to share that with you guys. And that's why I encourage you to keep coming back. But keep in mind that this will be huge, and learning VR and AR and how to put it just into use in your marketing strategy, not just from the community standpoint, but in general from an innovative marketing perspective, is going to be key for 2024 and beyond. It's just something you want to get ahead of now before everyone's doing it. We have reached the end of today's podcast. Thank you guys for sticking with me till the end here and learning all about communities, community engagement, and how community management fits into your marketing strategy and why it is a must for your innovative marketing strategy in 2024 and beyond. And just learning how to use some of these tools that can help you predict these trends and help you interact better with your specific audience and learn what that specific audience is and where they are existing. So thanks again for listening, and thank you to everyone that participated, clients of mine, people I've worked with that filled out their information on the Google form that allowed me to show that at the beginning of this clip, so you guys knew I knew what I was talking about. And make sure you join my social media, or give my social medias a follow and subscribe on YouTube, because that's my own community that I'm building, and my community is built around helping small business owners, entrepreneurs, and solo brands learn how to use innovative and dynamic marketing strategies in your everyday marketing strategies. So keep an eye for every Monday. Keep an eye out. Next Monday we'll be back, of course, with another Marketing Monday podcast. And again, please subscribe if you liked what you heard. Leave feedback in the comment section. Click that link in my bio and follow my social medias. Check out my website. And just don't forget to keep learning, keep growing, keep building a community around your brand, because it's going to be key in this next year, and it's going to continue to be very, very, very important. So thanks again. Have a good one.